I welcome the audience to the second session of Science of Yoga lecture series. We will begin the session with invocation recitation video. Let me begin.
श्री आदिनाथाय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै येनोपदिष्टा हठयोगविद्या विभ्राजते प्रोन्नतराजयोगम् आरोढुमिच्छोरधिरोहणीव योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोक्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि अथ पातञ्जलयोगसारसूत्राणि अथ योगानुशासनम् योगश्चित्तवृत्तिनिरोधः तदा द्रष्टुः स्वरूपेव स्थानम् अभ्यासवैराग्याभ्यामसन्निरोधः यमनियमासनप्राणायामप्रत्याहारधारणा ध्यानसमाधयोऽष्टवङ्गानि त्रयमेकत्र संयमः पुरुषार्थशून्यानां गुणानां प्रतिप्रसवः कैवल्यं स्वरूपप्रतिष्ठा वा चितिशक्तिरिति
Now I request Professor Soham Chakravarti to kindly introduce today's invited speaker.
Thank you, Shruti. I welcome the audience and today's invited speaker, Radhika Nagrath ji, to this second session of Science of Yoga lecture series organized by IKS Committee of IIT Roorkee. I take the pleasure of introducing today's invited speaker. Radhika Nagrath is a certified yoga teacher and a life coach associated with Patanjali Yog Peeth for the past 26 years. She is a freelance journalist contributing to national newspapers like Times of India, The Pioneer, and also joint secretary with Chinmaya Education Society. A philanthropist and spiritualist, she has presented research papers and delivered talks on scientific basis of yoga at CGI Dubai, on importance of suffering at McGill, on yoga for psychosomatic diseases in California, and on Vivekananda Global Model for Development at Art Institute of Chicago. She is also author of several books on Indianness. With this brief introduction, I invite Radhika ji to take over the stage and present today's lecture. Thank you, Radhika ji, for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Sohan. We begin with the prayer. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Lead us from unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. It gives me joy unspeakable, my heartfelt gratitude to the team of IITians and Indian Knowledge Systems Committee, Professor Anil Gaurishetty, Professor Rajat Agarwal, Professor Avalokita Agarwal, Professor Ram Manohar Singh, Professor Vishwendra Punya, and Professor Soham Chakrabarti for giving me a chance to give a talk on 5 pillars of holistic living, in which I will be giving the scientific basis of yoga. This day is special to observe American Declaration of Independence. My ideal Swami Vivekananda, he wrote this poem to the 4th of July. So this is very special for me. Way back in 1898, he had written this poem. And 4 years later, on the same day, he was liberated from the body cage. The words of the poem, they are inspiring. I will just take a minute to say those words. Behold, the dark clouds melt away that gathered thick at night and hung so low, like a gloomy pall above the earth. Before thy magic touch, the world awakes. I repeat, the world awakes. A welcome new to thee today. O sun, thou sheddest liberty. Namaste, pranam, adab, Sat Shri Akal, charan sparsh to those who are elder to me, sneh alingan to youngsters. And we are not here for any lecture baji today, but sharing our experiences of life.
Radhika ji,
I share.
Radhika ji, your video is
Yeah.
off. Please make your video on.
Am I visible now?
Not yet.
I did not switch off my camera, but
You might be having a start video option in your tab somewhere.
would you allow me to sign out and once again join this, please?
Yeah, sure. We can take 1 minute.
Thank you.
Yes, Radhika ji, you are visible now. You can please continue. Please unmute yourself.
Humble pranams to all the members present of IKS committee and the audience, the students who have joined from different parts of the world. By doing pranams, I connect to you, connect to my own self, which is important and which I think we have forgotten in today's fast-paced life. As it is, yoga comes from yuj dhatu in Sanskrit, meaning to unite. Corona period was a boon in disguise. We learned so many things which we were unnecessarily doing and we could do without easily. So we will be discussing the important today between the routine and the urgent. Mostly it so happens that routine is never missed, urgent is never missed, but the important is missed. And we know that only right knowledge and right action can lead to transformation. 3 P's, which are obstacles in obtaining peace, and peace is the goal of everyone. These P's, which keep us away from the 4th peace are position, possession, and power. People in high position are filled with pride. Having lot of possessions makes one arrogant. Powerful people are haughty. But yoga that lets us keep the balance even if we have good position, even if we have enormous possessions and the power. Like in the beginning of the session, that video was played. Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Patanjali Rishi defines yoga as yoga chit vritti nirodha. And Bhagavad Gita explains yoga as yoga karmasu kaushalam. Now, yoga chit vritti nirodha, this is related to Mano Yoga, which I will be discussing as the first pillar today. And yoga karmasu kaushalam, this is from Bhagavad Gita, which of course defines the karma yoga. If I define it related to the mind, I can say that yoga is pursuing a task, pursuing any task with concentration, using our inherent capacities of the mind and getting absorbed in that fully. I repeat, using our inherent capacities of the mind in all the tasks we do, wherever, whatever, and getting absorbed in that fully. Broadly defined, we all know yoga is karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, and raj yoga. Path of devotion and knowledge, of course, are interlinked. The karma yoga is yoga of action, and jnana yoga is path of knowledge. So we cannot compartmentalize these, that only karma yoga will help me lead to my goal, or only jnana yoga, or only mano yoga, which is related to mind. No, Raj Yoga is Mano Yoga. In fact, one leads to the other. And I would like to quote Swami Vivekananda in this. He always used to say that a student of PhD has got no right to look down upon the class one student saying that, oh, it's just ritualistic what you're doing. This will help you lead nowhere. We have crossed all those stages. Or we have to pass through karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, and finally leading to the ultimate peace. It's not that one path is good or another is not good. So main 5 pillars which I'm going to talk about today are Mano Yoga. I will be discussing the techniques of pranayam, dhyan, Panchkosha's principle. Second, Ahar Yoga, how plant-based diet is useful for us. Vyayam Yoga, effects of various asanas on body functions. Especially, I would be mentioning the scientific basis of Surya Namaskar, which we all know comprises of 12 poses. Fourth pillar, Sadachar Yoga, shunning all the wrong habits so that we are keeping heart diseases and brain strokes at bay. And finally, Lok Sangrah Yoga, which improves self-worth and makes life meaningful. Coming to Mano Yoga first. I just want to check out, am I visible and audible? Is it fine? I go at the same pace?
Yes, you are visible and audible.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. So coming to Mano Yoga, most of us must have felt that we are living in a pressure cooker all the time. We are so much stressed. in work, at home, in relationships, in dealing people. And this stress reduction can be done by the use of knowledge, Jnana Yoga. How? By having vivek of nitya and anitya. Nitya is permanent, anitya is impermanent. In life, we have only two options. Either we face something which is permanent or it is impermanent. So, suppose I break a crystal glass, it was very dear to me. Instantly, I should tell my mind, oh, it's anitya. Why should I bother so much? Why should I disturb my peace of mind? That is the path of knowledge. We must use intellect. After all, this discrimination intellect, it's given only to human beings. So why not use it? Otherwise, we are just like an animal if not using this intellect. Another technique can be pranayam. Pranayam is breath control, expanded breath, some exercises which we do for relaxing our mind. This all comes in Mano Yoga. Singing is a very good option, very good method to relax. Meditation, another. Most of us are struggling meditation. Whenever we sit to meditate, all sorts of thoughts come to us in our which we want to stop. So someone has beautifully described that effortless awareness of one's true self is meditation. Effortless. It has to be effortless. When it starts coming on its own, when we become meditative in our mood, we don't have to sit for meditation. We just be in that mood, whatever we are doing. I'm speaking. I feel that I'm interiorizing myself at the same time. My senses are not going here and there. Oh, no thought, no other thought is coming right now. So that is being meditative. Whatever we are doing, whatever task we are given to, we do that fully with the presence of mind. And awareness of my own self, like I'm Radhika. Do I need to tell every time that I'm Radhika, I'm Radhika, I'm Radhika? No, it has been ingrained in my conscience, subconscious, that yes, I'm Radhika. So is Radhika only the body or the mind or the self or the consciousness? This has to be made clear. And yoga comes here in picture. It helps us realize our real self. We are not only mind, so that we keep on questioning our being. Most of the times we are forgetting our own being, and that's why we become aswast. Aswast, swast is a Sanskrit word. We all want to be healthy. Healthy is not actually the exact word for swasthya. Swasthya means it has two components, swa and sthit. Swa and stha. Swa is the being and stha is centered, located. So swasthya truly means getting centered into one's own being. I would like to share one of the verses from Adi Guru Shankaracharya to make my point more clear why this swasthya is needed so much in life, why we have to be so much conscious about our health. He says, Yavat vito parjan sakt, stavat nij parivaro rakta, pascha jivati jar jar dehe, varta ko pina prechati ke. Which means, so long as man is fit and able to support his family, he's healthy, he's able to earn money, he gets affection from all around, but no one at home cares to even have a word with him when his body totters due to old age or due to disease. So important is healthy life for us. For Mano Yoga, another technique which I mentioned, this Dhyan Yoga, this meditation, scientifically, because our session is focusing on the scientific basis. So I'll talk about how this meditation helps in giving us total peace of mind. There is one GABA component in our brain, GABA levels. GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid, which has the function that it inhibits nerve cells' activity to receive or send chemical messages to other nerve cells. And it has been observed that 12 weeks of yoga compared to exercise, just physical exercise, it increased the GABA levels in thalamus of brain. This was measured using magnetic resonance spectroscopy. This study was done by NIMHANS Bangalore, and even our Patanjali Research Institute has done certain case studies. So when we meditate, that inhibitor, that nerve cell activity is lowered. Messages to the brain cells and from the brain cells, they are reduced. So automatically, when that is reduced, we get peace of mind. Our thoughts are not wavering. Also, Om chanting. Om chanting produces deactivation of limbic structures of the brain, which are responsible for memory storage and retrieval. Whenever we want to recollect something from our mind, so some information which has been registered in the mind, that comes whenever we say, oh, I am forgetting, but now I can recollect. So that means that is lying somewhere in our brain and we are recollecting it. So it has been observed that by chanting of Om, we are deactivating some limbic structures of the brain, which are responsible for memory storage for the time being. That emotional state is cut off from the mind, and we are linked to the conscious, and immediately our thoughts wavering goes down. Our thoughts are calmed down. This has been observed scientifically. Now, if I discuss about the 5 sheets which envelop our being, because Mano Yoga is not only the physical, it's mind, it's so many other things also. So it's necessary to understand that physical body has 2 parts, Annamaya Kosh and Pranamaya Kosh. Annamaya Kosh is physical body, which we see. Pranamaya Kosh is the vital energy sheath. Then mind has 2 parts, Manomaya Kosh and Vigyanmaya Kosh. Manomaya Kosh is intellectual and rational activity. And Vigyanmaya is intuition. And 5th is Anandamaya Kosh. So all these 5 koshas make our being. I repeat, Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vigyanmaya Kosh, and Anandamaya Kosh. Individual soul is surrounded by these 5 bodies, and each of the bodies must be nourished by proper lifestyle. Mind is not a dustbin that we keep anger, jealousy, and other vices, hatred, but it's meant to keep just love and happiness. So how to be in that state all the time, we are learning through this session. Scientifically, if I speak, mental should the physical via pranic structure. I'm this day caught cold or cough, it's not only that weather played the role or I didn't take care of myself. Many times, tension, stress also is the cause. Mental tensions do filter into the physical via this pranic structure, and brain acts as the gateway between mind and the body. So, brain is part of physical body, though intimately linked with mental body. And it controls the autonomic nervous system, which regulates our blood pressure. So when it is imbalanced, whenever we get a single negative thought which disturbs our nervous system, then we get hypertension, or the hypertension is a result of this excessive sympathetic stimulation in our nervous system. So here comes the role of meditation. Meditation is an effective way to isolate ourselves, you all know. And whenever we sit for meditation or we go into meditative mood in our work, during the task, everyday tasks we are doing, it rebalances and stabilizes nervous system. I'll tell you how more elaborately um, when I discuss other parts. We know that nervous system is linked to the heart and lungs and monitors the blood pressure. So meditation speeds up the reflexes and improves the functions of brain. It has been proven scientifically. It increases our ability to recover from stress in a very short time. And another way of telling our mind whenever any stress or negative thought comes, I again quote Swami Vivekananda, who is my ideal. He used to say, this life is like a gymnasium. We come here to strengthen our muscles. So it's not that always train your mind that whenever something negative happens, oh, it's not only with me, it happens with everyone. And all the more I have come here to become more strong. Whatever circumstances come, whatever situation has come to, which is leading me down, it has a purpose. I have to prove stronger. So whenever there is a conflict between lower aspects of the brain linked to emotional control and higher thoughts, buddhi says something else, heart says something else. So that is the time conflict occurs, and that is the time disease occurs. Remember, always, whenever there is a conflict, disease occurs. Disease occurs. So it has to be removed, and it can be removed only by meditation, because meditation is scientific. Scientifically, it uh, tells us what happens in the nervous system. It affects the brain complex, and it calms the hypothalamus, shutting off the emotions and the excessive sympathetic stimulation. Now, and through this, we can always control the blood pressure. Stress raises blood pressure, we all know, by constricting body's arterioles so that more oxygenated blood can be shunted to heart, brain, and skeletal muscles to react. Yoga enables us to gain control of these switches so that that constriction which has happened in the body's arterioles, which are supplying the blood, they get constricted whenever a stressful thought comes. Yoga enables us to gain control of that switch, and it smoothens the flow. Whenever a change is required, signals are sent through sympathetic or parasympathetic, and meditation is known to calm down overexcited this nervous system. Now I come to second technique, which is pranayama. Pranayama is nothing but regulation of breathing cycle in accordance to one's capacity. Pran, we all know, is vital energy, and ayam means to expand. So that actual meaning of the word is expansion of the range of the vital energy. Now, scientifically, if I talk about practicing pranayam, we make use of oxygen at nano level. Nano means nanotechnology. You all are from science background. It's ultra fine. So we are using prana energy, the vital energy at nano level for all the reactions in the body. And that's why prana is called self-medicine. We don't need any extra medicine from outside, any pill to cure any disease if we are able to do rightly these pranayams. Oxygen is mainly responsible for preventing destructive processes in body and for strengthening constructive and regulatory forces. This is a scientific base. Now, metabolism, when it gets affected, when oxygen is not properly being circulated in the body, so poor anabolism. Anabolism is your smaller molecules are combined to become larger, and catabolism is just opposite. That larger cells are broken down into small, and this process goes on and on in our body. And a state of homeostasis is achieved when this process is in a normal flow. But imbalance of this, whenever stress comes, it causes
science program. Yoga and science. IIT Roorkee. Maran.
Hello? Yeah, shall I continue, please?
Yes, please. Someone just
Yeah.
muted.
Sorry.
Science.
So through this pranayama, we are creating balance between our body activities, between metabolic activities. And if I name Bhastrika and Anulom Vilom pranayama, Bhastrika is when we are inhaling, we are concentrating on inhalation part, and we exhale normally. But this Kapalbhati and Anulom Vilom, we are concentrating main on exhalation part. So we can have a separate session where I explain the techniques of pranayam. Right now, I'll take only the scientific basis only. So through this, we supply full oxygen to the blood corpuscles of our body, and through Kapalbhati, we are actually circulating that energy which we have gained through Bhastrika to other internal organs of our body. In Kapalbhati, we are contracting and relaxing our stomach, and at the same time, we are exhaling. So that helps circulate the energy to all the body organs. And by what is the basis of this pranayam? That it is raising the oxygen concentration in our blood and decreasing the carbon dioxide. So immediately the blood pressure which rises in our body, that can be controlled. But there are certain cautions for Kapalbhati. We should not do more than 2 to 3 minutes at a stretch. But Anulom Vilom, which is alternate breathing, we inhale through one nostril, exhale through right, then exhale through right, inhale through right and exhale through left. This is alternate nostril breathing. That can be done for any amount of time at any interval. Even if we have taken food, we can do that. It's the safest pranayam, and it decreases our blood pressure in the fastest way. Anulom Vilom pranayam. So blood pressure is decreased, naturally our body will calm down. And Ujjayi and Nadi Shodhan pranayam, they also reduce the blood pressure. So with pranayams, I mean to say, mind is relaxed, decreasing the sympathetic arousal. Oxygen level of blood is increased. Carbon in the system, body system decreased. And all our functions of digestion, respiration, excretion, transmission of nervous impulses, circulation of blood, they are all regularized. Also, we know that pran and chit are circulated through a network of nadis. They are flowways. And there are about 72 crores, 72 lakh 10,210 nadis or energy channels in the body. So 72 crore energy channels in the body, and with three main channels, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. When a yogi, when we do more of meditation, so it is said that Pingala, the middle one, the Sushumna, sorry, the middle one, Ida, Pingala on left and right side, this Sushumna gets opened. The flow through Sushumna Nadi is said to be in yogis very regularized as soon as they sit for meditation. And yoga balances these nadis through sympathetic application. Now, without going much detail into Kapalbhati Pranayam, which I just discussed, I would end up this Manoyog part with the key benefit of Kapalbhati Pranayam. It says by practicing this Kapalbhati, we are contracting our abdominal muscles, and a proper aeration is being given to the blood arterioles. And a healthy person can practice this for about 2 to 3 minutes at a stretch, and 10 to 15 minutes. And this stimulates pancreas to release insulin, thereby helping to control diabetes also. So people who have this problem of high sugar, they should practice this Kapalbhati. This will help them regulate their blood sugar also. Second pillar of wellness of holistic living is Ahar Yoga. We all know that whole food plant-based diet will help us to keep lifestyle diseases, blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol at a distance. No non-veg. Fruits. Why this is said? Because non-veg affects the mind also. All that pain, and whenever the animal is killed, it is said that everything is absorbed in the muscle, and when we eat that, so the same is transposed to us also. So it's always said that to have peace of mind, vegetarian diet is always helpful. And whole plant diet is a must. Not processed food, not the fine maida and sugar part. Whole wheat flour is always recommended. For vegetarians, fruits is a must. Having fruits on daily basis, and minimum 5 colored fruits a day, because every fruit has a different property. And fruits we know have low glycemic index, which means they raise sugar level gradually, not immediately. They are slowly absorbed in our body system. So fruits are the best for health. Glycemic index is just actually a number. It gives you an idea about how fast your body converts the carbohydrates into glucose. Glucose is what gives us energy, we all know. So release glucose in blood slowly helps us keeping good health, and eating more plants and less dairy and meat lessens blood pressure by 10 mm of mercury, a study says. If you want to reduce blood pressure, you don't have to take a pill. You change your diet to more of plant-based and reduce dairy products. It will help you. On an average, when we take blood pressure pill, it reduces 10 mm of mercury. But with lifestyle changes, we can change it, we can reduce it to 40 mm of mercury, say the scientists. So you can replace your desserts and other attractive burgers and pizzas with multicolored fruits. Sounds good? Cooking vegetables with less oil, of course, is a must. Ahar Yoga, when we want to have good body, good healthy mind. So Ahar Yoga plays an important role, and naturally cooking vegetables in less oil is always recommended. A doctor says 250 gram of oil for one family of 4. So you can imagine how much oil we have to take daily. And otherwise also, I feel that if we take 1 grain meal a day, I do that. It helps me a lot. I take lots of fruits. I take other things also. Now, good mood foods like dates, bananas, cereals, whenever we take them, it always keeps our spirits high. My mood is always up. And remember, if we take 2 samosas or 2 gulab jamuns in a day, we have to do 1 hour jogging. We have to burn 490 calories if we have taken 2 samosas or 2 gulab jamun. In Ahar Yoga, one more important thing is that we have to chew properly whatever food we are taking. This will help you have good teeth, long life, and you will never have bloating problem. Avoid maida, as I earlier said, and even salt. We can use sendha namak, that is good. Use paneer instead of cheese, no white sauce. So know your foods, the combos also. What goes with what? Like with milk, you should not take salt. So there are food combos, the knowledge we must have. We all are focused on our KYC. So we should know our foods also, the combos. And veggies, we know they are rich in antioxidants. They reduce free radicals, which harm brain cells. So they cancer by reducing the free radicals in the brain, they actually lower the cancer risk and even the cardiovascular risk. We all know that deep yellow-orange fruits like carrots and Malta, they have beta-carotene content, which is useful for health. And leafy vegetables have lutein, tomatoes have lycopene, selenium, so on and so forth, vitamin C, fruits and vegetables. So we should focus on these food, and we must take food as aushadhi. Aushadhi is medicine. Like we take medicine regularly in proper dose, same way we should eat food in a fixed quantity. We should try. I know temptations are there, but once in a while going out off the track is okay, but regularity does help us in maintaining good diet. And I think I would be able to take 15 to 20 more minutes. Is there a time limit?
Yeah, you can maybe finish in 15 minutes more, then it will be covered
Fine,
1
fine,
hour.
fine. Thank you so much. Now, if I talk about why disease occurs in the body, the causal agent, the root cause is to be identified, like for any skin disease. Only anti-allergic does not fix the disease. We have to take uh, some bitter herbs like neem, giloy, which will actually act on the cause of the disease. So I'm not saying that we should totally switch over to Ayurveda, but integrated approach to allopathic and Ayurvedic is always beneficial. And I have seen now even medical practitioners, they are allopathic medical practitioners, they are now prescribing. On their prescription, they write, do this pranayam or switch over to plant-based diet. And I remember, since I'm a journalist, so once I took interview of Dr. Ravikant Gupta, who was a director, former director of AIMS Rishikesh, and he, while explaining me the effects of yoga, he said, we have seen that yoga, the pranayam especially, it makes differences at apicular level, at molecular level. Your genes are changed, your body cells are changed. This is what the allopathic doctors also say. I'm quoting him. I have his recording. So we have to believe in what we are doing, that it has got some scientific basis. When we know why we are doing what we are doing, so that would make an effect, and we will do it religiously. We will not skip it or skip it any part of the day in our routine. Of course, because of human nature, we always choose prayers rather than shreyas. These are the two terms which are used in Bhagavad Gita also. Prayers, what is pleasurable, and shreyas is what is preferable. It should be done, but we always move towards prayers. We always move towards, we always want to have what looks good, what actually is not good. So, without depending on the circumstances, Shreyas takes us closer to the divine self, whereas prayers takes you through desires to the world of sorrow. Just like amla, it tastes bitter in the beginning, but gives nice feeling in the end. So choose Shreyas, choose plant-based diet. It will help us. Third pillar, I'll take up Vyayam Yoga. Vyayam, we all know exercises. And what is the science behind these yogasanas? Yogasanas are primarily done to align one's body geometrically to that of the cosmic geometry and to be in sync with the cycles of nature. We know this whole universe is moving in a certain geometrical fashion, and there is a cosmic geometry in that. So to be, whatever exercise we do, whatever asana we practice, it is actually synchronized with the cycles of the nature. The basis of all spiritual seeking, which is physical in nature, is to get oneself in sync with the biology of the nature. Being in sync with the solar cycle is an important part of balance and receptivity. I repeat that being in sync, we always are now synchronizing our mobile's data with the email. Sync means only that. No. Here, being in sync with the solar cycle is an important part of balance and receptivity in our own bodies. Physical body is a fantastic stepping stone and instrument to experience the higher possibilities. But for most people, it functions like a stumbling block. So here comes the need of the sessions of the Indian knowledge system, which IIT is propagating, that body should not be a stumbling block. It should be a support in our realization of ultimate goal. Many times the compulsions of the body do not allow us to achieve our goals. So we would be doing we would be talking about some yogasanas. And remember, yogasanas are not merely exercises. There is a whole new dimension added to the yogasanas because they're done with awareness and involvement. One can become aware of the breath and the sensation in the body movements. Hatha Yoga, the first process of yoga is to bring balance between the masculine and the feminine in you. And that is why one starts on the spiritual path with Hatha Yoga. Ha means sun and Ta means moon. So yoga is balancing of both. And without an able body, we know with the right inner balance, no higher dimensions of energy can be experienced. We cannot achieve anything, as a matter of fact, without healthy body. Both static and dynamic asanas, physical postures, they facilitate relaxation, they mobilize the pranic energy. When they are practiced with breath awareness, a state of homeostasis is achieved, a balance is achieved. Uh, the thumb rule is whenever we do a posture in which we are bending down, we exhale. Whenever we are moving up, we inhale. So whenever any posture is done with, any yogasana is done with breath awareness, it has a direct effect. By now scientifically, I explained by maintaining static asana, both body becomes dynamic and has time to readjust itself, be stretched, massaged, soothed, unknotted, relaxed. And these asanas, they remove mental and emotional tension. The intensity of emotional states associated with our internal and external experience is reduced. During asana practice, the massage of internal organs helps to squeeze out stale blood, allowing flow of fresh blood and tissues. Stale blood is moved out of our organs and fresh flow blood tissues they start accepting, and asanas they help rebalance our 7 chakras also. A word of caution, sedentary behavior increases the risk of all-cause mortality. So sedentary lifestyle, say no to that by all means. Sedentary means we are not doing our exercises daily. So that would lead to ultimately cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and even cancers. And how much activity does an adult need? Muscle strengthening activity at least twice in a week, and moderate intensity uh, asanas at least for 150 minutes in a week. This is what the doctors prescribe. Daily, do at least 20 minutes Surya Namaskar. If not, at a stretch, start from 2 cycles up to 5, 7 cycles combined with pranayam. 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes we must devote for ourselves. And we know if we are not doing physical activity, abdominal adiposity, adipose tissue will get accumulated and will gain weight and all sorts of problems linked to obesity. But when we do yoga, it will improve our lipid profile, especially Surya Namaskar, 12 poses. Surya Namaskar is not at all difficult, and anyone can Google it out also, or I'll explain it later if so asked. It increases the HDL cholesterol levels and decreases LDL to HDL ratios. It reduces blood pressure. Remember, all asanas do that. They improve the coronary blood flow, reduce chronic inflammation, and incidence of chronic disease and premature death. We have seen many cases after Corona period that nothing happened and the person just had a silent attack and gone. It's an alarm for us to move to active lifestyle. Now, additional benefits, if I say of yoga, yoga improves our immunity by raising level of antioxidants in our body. Yes, stress is reduced, definitely. Switch on genes that promote health. It lowers our risk for falling and improves balance. I have experienced it many, many times. It improves balance of the body. And it gives musculoskeletal fitness, cardiorespiratory fit. I had certain stretch marks which went off just by doing Surya Namaskar. So choice is ours, whether we take pills, tablets, or natural foods, or go for surgical procedures. Surya Namaskar, 3-4 major benefits I'd like to highlight. Just because we know sun is a life or an energy source for our planet, and it's an element in everything we eat, we drink or breathe. Without solar energy, we don't get anything. So when one is in tune with the cycles of the sun, when we do these 12 poses of Surya Namaskar, we are actually in tune with the cycles of the sun, physical health, well-being, and no life without sun. You know that. All lives would disappear if this was not there. So I hope everyone offers water to the sun god in the morning after waking up, whether it's monsoon these days, whether sun is peeping out of clouds or not. We have to offer and do the exercises. With this, we are harnessing our the solar energy for our own benefit, and uh, entire all systems, if I name, digestive system, nervous system, respiratory, everything is benefited by Surya Namaskar. But it invigorates the heart also, and protects us from falling of hair. It stops falling of hair, reduces redundant fat, removes kidney troubles, strengthens the stomach. All stretch exercises, mountain pose, one of the poses in Surya Namaskar. It's very, very beneficial in toning up the muscles. It even destroys the offensive odor of perspiration and improves knock knees in walking also. One of my students, I remember, now he is colonel in army. He had knock knees problems and he was rejected during selection in army board. So he practiced these asanas of Surya Namaskar, and he was given a 1 month's time. And one of the wing commanders, who was like my uncle, he's no more now, he challenged me that no, knock knee problem will never be solved. Uh, he will be rejected again. But luckily, God's grace, he did a lot of exercises, and he's in army. He's now commanding officer in Sukna. So all the benefits of Vyayam Yoga and Sadachar Yoga, we all know we should be sattvic, no smoking, no drinking. Even if one is habitual of drinking, it should be in a limited quantity, and avoid alcohol to reduce blood pressure, and less than 1 drink a day, they say, reduces 5 mm of mercury blood pressure. And Sadachar Yoga, do fasting also. What's the benefit of fasting? Like I do Ekadashi fasting. So it's autophagy. It's a self-eating process in the body, consumption of the body's own tissue as a metabolic process occurring when we starve, when we don't food to the body. And by this, damaged cell parts are removed because the cells eat up the own old damaged cell parts. They start using that for energy. So this autophagy is stimulated when we do fasting. And wrong habits, of course, smoking. Mostly youngsters take to smoking. They feel that it's a means of enjoyment, it's a stress reducer, it's a weight controller, just to create hype. But no, remember, if you stop smoking, science says, it's a study says by NIMHANS Bangalore, that within 20 minutes, when you quit smoking, your BP becomes, your pulse becomes normal within 20 minutes. Within 8 hours, oxygen level becomes normal. Within 24 hours, heart attack decreases. Within 48 hours, smell taste improves. Within 72 hours, breathing becomes easier. And within 2 weeks, blood circulation and breathing improves. So wrong habits are to be shunned. And lastly, I would discuss the Lok Sangrah Yoga, which is very dear to me. Lok Sangrah means seva. By doing seva, we are actually making those happy chemicals and hormones in our body to release, like this dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin. They are released, and these are happy chemicals. This makes seva, doing seva makes our life meaningful. And for dopamine, it said you eat good food, achieving a goal, completing a task, self-care activities. That this hormone, the stress hormone, is activated. Oxytocin when you socialize, when we give a hug to someone. So more oxytocin is released. So these are all happy hormones, which when we socialize, when we do seva, whenever I go to a hospital, I see so many patients suffering. So naturally, in my mind, I get certain feeling that thank God I'm okay. Thank God I don't have to struggle so much like these people are doing. So this is a good way of increasing our hormones level. I run a project with Ramakrishna Mission. I share my roti. I have a group and Ramakrishna Mission Sevashram Hospital. We have made a procedure like celebrate your birthday by donating bread of patients for 15 days. So around the year, people celebrate birthdays by eating, and I really get pleasure in that. So in a way, I think when my physiological needs are over, they are fulfilled. I know I'm safe. I know I'm social also. That need is also over. So ultimately, I move to self-actualization. What's more, holistic life. That's Maslow's hierarchy of needs also. So I want to move up in that hierarchy of needs, and I hope and wish that everyone listening to this lecture and everyone associated with us, to whomsoever I connected today, will also try to move up on this ladder of self-realization. So Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika ji, for this wonderful talk. I feel that there could be some question and answer from the audience. So I'd like to request the audience to please raise their hands. So you can see the raise hand button, and we can take some questions, a few questions due to paucity of time. And Radhika ji has wonderfully described the relationship of various yogas with our body mechanisms, metabolism, and other mechanisms. So you may have some questions around that. Kindly raise your hands if you have any questions. Okay, Kumar has a question, so I will unmute Kumar. He can ask himself. Kumar, you are unmuted.
Thank you very much. Can you please elaborate a little bit more about controlling or managing diabetes? Because I see a lot more cases of people getting into pre-diabetic or diabetes stage. Can you please talk more about that, please? Thank you.
Yes, a study says that pranayam, especially Kapalbhati and Anulom Vilom, they have led to disease reversal. First of all, we must realize that diabetes is again a psychosomatic disease. It's related to the mind. 80% of the disease is in the mind. This Bihar School of Yoga has done a study, and because it's mind related, I am talking about type 2, right? Not type 1, which is from birth. In that case, also, we have a diabetes support group in Ramakrishna Mission Sevashram, Haridwar. We found those children were benefited, but now my study is basically on the type 2 diabetic patients, and we have seen that pranayam helps a lot in disease reversal, and one or two asanas also done, like manduk asana. When we bend forward in sitting in vajrasana, and with both fists around the navel. So with that asana, it is believed to release more of those pancreas are activated, and ultimately with the practice for a certain period, it does help in checking our sugar level. Also, pranayam, as I said, scientifically, what happens when we do like contraction of and relaxation of stomach? You know, whenever we want to, suppose I want to sprinkle water, I want to water the plants, and the water flow is not regular. So what we do, we put our finger on the mouth of the pipe so that the flow is more. It creates a pressure. And with the gush, the water moves out. So same way, when we do these yogasanas and particularly pranayams, so that blood flow is uh, regularized, and oxygen level, when it is raised in the blood. So all sorts of problems, especially whenever any cell or tissue gets less of oxygen, so the problem starts occurring. Through these pranayams, that problem gets over, because the flow is smoothened, and blood pressure is also regularized, and sugar levels also are controlled. One thing I would like to say, that I firstly mentioned about Mano Yoga. Since blood pressure, this diabetes again, psychosomatic, related to the mind. So if we are less stressed, definitely this problem will get over in a span of time. And even if you are taking pills every day, so your intake of pills will be reduced, because glucose homeostasis is achieved by pranayams and Surya Namaskar, and insulin sensitivity is increased. So this has been proven scientifically. So more of plant-based diet and more of mano yoga, doing reducing your stress, your diabetes will go definitely in a span of time. We have seen patients, we do 45 days case study, and they were given a certain capsular course of these pranayams, this much diet, this much. So end of 45 days, it was observed that the blood glucose levels were normalized.
Thank you, Radhika ji. Radhika ji, your video has turned off again. So can you please make it on? I think there is a button there in your screen. You could be able to make it on.
This is for camera settings only, not this, no? Am I visible now? No.
No. So I
Maybe
think
some, because connection is low, so the automatically it is switching off the camera. What do I do? I'm so sorry for that.
Are you getting a start video button?
Video button.
Can you check now?
Mute button I have, and show participants without video automatically hide names. No. Is it on the right? Like on top bar, I have a Bluetooth sign, then people sign, then acha.
Just adjacent to the mute button, you should be having a video button also.
I'm so sorry.
Okay,
I
no
can't
problem.
figure
We'll
it
take
out.
another question is there. We'll take that question. Rohit has raised his hand. So I'll unmute Rohit. Rohit, you can ask the question.
Hi, sir. Uh, Ma'am, I want to know that for people who have sinus and migraine issues, so is this thing interconnected in nature?
Yes.
Because by birth, I was having this asthma issue, and now, in my adult life, it has, even grown into sinus migraine. So, what is the solution to this, and can it be treated by yoga?
Yoga is the only solution, I tell you. Migraine patients, so many we have dealt with, and it goes away within 15 days. Please do pranayam and have a habit of putting clarified butter, desi ghee जिसे हम कहते हैं, 2 drops in your nostrils and inhale it. It helps a lot in migraine problem. But you say asthma you had right from birth.
Yes, ma'am,
So
by birth. Because my mother is also having the same issue.
it's genetic, hereditary. But still, you can put I won't say since it's from birth, so maybe it is not removed from altogether, but still, pranayam can help you a lot. Do you practice pranayam, like alternate nostril breathing, anulom vilom? Do you do? Do you practice any kind of pranayam?
No, ma'am.
Oh, please, Rohit, then uh, I can have your number from Dr. Soham, and please be in touch with me for 15 days regularly. I'll give you time. Do pranayam with me. We can have a Zoom call. I'm very comfortable with Zoom. I'm not so comfortable with WebEx platform. So today this problem of video and this. So if you have time, do with me. I assure you it will do a lot good to you. pranayam really helps because it helps clear the cough which gets accumulated in forehead sinuses. My mother used to have problem, but it did her a lot good. And you have not done pranayam at all, so this will do wonders for you. I tell you,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
it,
much for
it
this, ma'am.
helps remove all the cough, accumulated cough. Acha, do you drink water? More water?
Yeah,
I shouldn't say. How many liters of water a day?
somewhere approx 2 liters.
Oh, it's very
Five.
less. That
Yeah,
is the
5 to 6.
reason. That is the reason the cough is getting accumulated in your forehead. You
Mm-hmm.
must take at least 3.5 liters or 4 liters a day. Try it. You maybe you are feeling, oh, I have so much of cough and I do drink all the more water, it will add to it. No, it will help dilute the cough and pass out through urine, pass out through stool. I tell you, increase the quantity of water. And when water is to be taken, do you know the times when water should be taken, Rohit?
Mm, no, ma'am.
No. Okay. Do you take 2 to 3 glasses empty stomach in the morning? If not, start it from tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Number one.
Okay.
Number two. Uh, do you feel thirsty during the day, or you drink water forcefully?
No,
You
not
feel
forcefully,
thirsty?
but I
Quite
hardly feel thirsty. Like,
hardly feel thirsty. Yes. Yes.
so whenever I feel,
See,
I just 1 glass.
no, 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 no. You have to change your lifestyle, and I believe you must be staying indoors most of the time.
Right, right,
Please,
correct.
please change your lifestyle. This is the root cause of your problem. You have to change your lifestyle, otherwise, this will create problem all the more when you start aging. You have to
Mm-hmm.
spend 40 minutes with nature daily. Come what may, come what may. You have to do Surya Namaskar. You have to offer water to the sun. You have to drink water, empty stomach, 2 glasses, little lukewarm in the morning. Or these days, because it's hot, so even the normal water is okay, just as of body temperature, right? Then you have to take a glass of water before 15 minutes when you take your meal. Why this is so? See, there is a science behind it. Our stomach is a laboratory. So many chemical processes are going on in the stomach, right? You're here listening to me, right?
I,
I can
yes,
see you,
ma'am.
so yeah. So the acid content of the stomach is so high that if you put your finger in the stomach, if at all the situation can be brought to reality, that will dissolve. Acidic content is so much. So when we drink water before our meals, 15 to 20 minutes before our meals, it sends a signal to our brain that look, this is the acidic level in the stomach. So with jet speed from all through the endocrine glands, the juices are secreted. Okay. And this water which we have taken 20 minutes before our lunch, before our meal, it acts as a testing agent that this much acid is present. So with that speed, all those enzymes start secreting, which actually help in the digestion of your food. Okay. And after your meal, you don't have to drink water for 1 hour. Your food should be so much juicy that it easily goes inside and you don't feel thirsty in between or to gallop it down. Okay. You don't need water. Your food should be that much liquid, semi-liquid in nature. So try this change in your ahar, try this change in your dincharya, in your routine of spending time out. You will feel a difference. And with pranayam, when you will do in the morning, so you'll get so much of energy for the day. And when the sinus part of the head is clear, so you will feel so light. And I guarantee you that initially for 2 3 days you might feel that when you're doing anulom vilom pranayam, this alternate nostril breathing, that some cough is coming out. You keep a hanky with you, but slowly that also will go away because the sinuses will be cleared of the kapha, and taking more of water will liquefy, it will pass through your stool. So this can help
Okay.
a lot. For asthma patients, pranayam is a must.
And ma'am, you told it early in the morning I should have this water empty stomach. So
Sorry,
after
sorry.
having,
Speak little louder, please.
yeah,
Yeah,
ma'am, I'm saying early in the morning when I have this water empty stomach,
yeah.
then after how much time shall I take my breakfast or something to eat?
Oh, okay. See, what usually I practice and what is recommended also, right? Like as soon as I wake up and after just strolling for 2 3 minutes, I go to kitchen, have water, and then uh, I go for motion to relax myself, and then uh, after that I brush and this. So 1 hour, 1.5 hour. Okay. Breakfast should be taken about 2 hours after this activity, when you have cleansed your bowels and uh, you have taken bath, you have done pranayam, you have done yoga. After that only comes breakfast, no time. But the problem is generally people get up late, so there is hardly any time to do these things. So straight away switch over to breakfast. That creates a problem. So even 3 hours, 5 o'clock you do, uh, you take water, and 8 o'clock you take breakfast. That is the ideal thing. Yes, Rohit.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for your inputs.
Yeah, and really, because my mom had little problem, so I assure you, you connect with me, your trouble will be gone. And the earlier speaker also, I didn't notice the name. So for diabetes also, that capsular course of 45 days, I can recommend to you. I can give in written, like those points, what is to be taken, how long this is to be done, 5 minutes this pranayam, 5 minutes this. So that will help, definitely. And after a month or so, you can report to me.
Okay, Radhika ji, thank you very much for the answers, and I am very sure that other audiences have also benefited from that, from your answer to the two questions. Due to the interest of time, I think we should be wrapping up at this moment. And I assure the other audiences who are having questions, they can write to us, and we will find a way in which you can respond to us. If you are not in the WhatsApp community, please join that community. I have already shared that link. So we'll communicate there soon how you can reach out and how you can connect to Madam for and for your answers to your queries.
Yes,
And now,
definitely.
now
And
I
you all are invited to Patanjali Yog Peeth also. Do I work with Divya Pharmacy, their sister concern?
okay. So I request Shruti to give the vote of thanks now and close the session.
At the very first We thank Radhika Nagrath ji for accepting our invitation and adjusting her routine to make this for this lecture. I am sure the lecture would have given a lot of takeaways to the audience. Coming to the audience, we must extend our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the overwhelming support we have obtained from them for our lecture series. With the registration mark crossing over 1300, the success of the lecture series cannot be possible without your overwhelming support. We thank our director, Professor K.K. Pant, and our Dean of Academic Affairs, Professor Apurva Kumar Sharma, for lending their constant support to our efforts. We also thank Professor Anil Kumar Gaurishetty for his able leadership to the IKS Committee of IIT Roorkee and being a source of encouragement and enthusiasm for all of us. We also thank the various IIT Roorkee authorities and officers who had always been available to solve our problems and extend their support in organizing the lecture series. We must thank all the IKS student volunteers for all the background work carried out for successful conduction of the program, starting from managing email communication to setting up webinar session. Also, a special thanks to Raghudev sir for creating the beautiful invocation video, lending his own voice in the recitation. Apologize to anyone whom I may have missed, but our heartfelt thanks extend to one and all who came together to make the event a success. Thanking again our esteemed speaker for sharing her knowledge and insight with us. I declare this session closed. Our next session is on 11th July, for which communication will be sent to all in due time. We officially end the session with Shanti Mantra recitation, for which I request Krishna to take over.
Shubha Sayakala. Let's start with the Shanti Mantra. Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kashit dukha bhave. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Please forgive me for any wrong words which might have hurt or which might have done wrong to anyone. Please forgive me. May we be blessed. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu.
Thank you, madam, for being here with us. So we close the session now, and we'll be having communication with all the audience who are in the WhatsApp community very soon. Thank you.
Many thanks. Om. Om.